Greetings everyone, and welcome to another WIS Technology tutorial. In today's lesson I'm going to be talking about and demonstrating the TeacherCal created by EduSync. Now, one of the things I'm really excited about TeacherCal is the fact that it's very closely integrated with Google Classroom. As many of you know, there's currently not a calendar integration included in Google Classroom. It's coming, but it's not there yet. But this may be an alternative that you choose to use now and even stick with. I think there is a tremendous amount of flexibility in the way that it's organized, and it kind of helps you plan in a way that I think a lot of teachers plan their units. So the first thing I'm going to demonstrate I'm going to show you kind of the interface and walk through the creation of a unit, followed by the creation of an assignment in that unit, and then talk about sort of what the students will see and what the parents will eventually see. So here we go. The first thing I did was I signed in to TeacherCal with my Google Apps account, and it took me to an interface where I could then add a course. I simply added a course that was the same name as one of my Google Classroom courses called Google Classroom Training. I also gave my course a term. Basically, I could probably do this by semester. I just decided to do it the entire academic year. So this is the 2015-16 term. I picked a start date, and I'm ready to get started. So the first thing I would do in a planning environment like this is I would create my course, and then in my course I would begin adding my units. So in this course, Google Classroom Training, I simply hover over the course name and click Add a Unit. So maybe the first unit I'm going to cover is the stream, okay? And in this unit, it's an overview of the stream, okay? And I may have specific objectives I want to meet, even maybe have standards in my unit with my students. I'm not going to fill those in right now. I can then pick a color for my calendar. Say I want the blue one. I can say we're going to start this unit on Monday, and we're going to end on Wednesday. And then I can even attach any resources to this unit. So I already have a folder in my Google Drive. Here it is. Google Classroom Training Resources. So in here, I have a document prepared all about the stream. And in this document, I would simply paste links and resources to everything about that particular unit. So I'd select that document, I've attached it, and I can now save this. Great. So now I have sort of this blocked out color area, right? This is within a particular unit. I can have different colors for different units. So for those of you who are visual planners, this is really nice because maybe my next unit will be red or orange or yellow or however I like to organize things. But now let's jump to Monday here. So you know what? We're going to have an assignment. So I'm going to attribute this assignment to regarding the stream, and this is going to be an assignment, and it's going to be add an original post to the stream. All right, that's it. That's all we're going to do on that day is add an original post to the stream. I'm going to mark it as homework. Okay, it's going to start on the 21st. It's going to be due that day. It's also going to sync to my calendar for this course. Because one of the things I did at the very beginning of when I was setting up this course was I linked my course to one of my Google calendars. So in other words, every time I post an event, it's going to sync to that calendar. And I'll show you where I did that in a minute here. But let me go ahead and the first thing I want to do is before I save this, I actually want to push this out via Google Classroom to my students. So I click this. Oops, I guess I got to save it first. All right, so once I save it, I can now push this out to Google Classroom. And what I get is I can choose which class this is going out to. So this is my Google Classroom training, section 1. And what I want to do is turn it into an assignment. And I click go. And now all I have to do is hit assign. And the students will now see this in Google Classroom. So look what's happened so far. I have my unit in a different color, right? I have an assignment in that unit with a due date attached to it. I also, when setting up this class, I've also enabled the Google Calendar integration. So this is what I was talking about earlier regarding how I can publish my events to a calendar. I can publish my Google Classroom assignments to a calendar without having to do things twice. So now when I go to Google Calendar, for example, let me walk over to my calendar. I'm going to click on the homework calendar. This is the one here. Let's move ahead a little forward. Let's see, I got to turn it on. So notice here I have, this is the event. It's a one-day assignment. I can click on this. And let's look at some more of the information in here. So you can see that the source of this event is coming from the EduSync teacher calendar. Now if I go ahead and click on this, it gives me an overview of the assignment. So as a parent, I could easily see what's supposed to happen here. I get the dates. It's an all-day event. And just the typical Google Calendar information you'd get. So this is all great, but what I think is even better is that eventually, and this hasn't been released yet, there's going to be something called EduCal. Now EduCal is kind of the student version of the TeacherCal, and just right on the website you can read about it, but I find all this very fascinating, that students can sign in with Google and enter their codes to follow their courses. And then if the teachers, if they're doing their planning on TeacherCal, all of their plans go right to the students' planners. And then the parents are getting these unique codes so they can follow just their kids, right, and get messages from teachers, notifications, and even the lesson plans if you want to go as far as that. So all this is, I think it's very, very interesting, very ambitious. But I think kind of the glue that's going to really sell this to people is the fact that it is working on this classroom integration. So as a teacher, I can still use my Google Classroom, but maybe my first stop would be the TeacherCal, and then I would share my assignment via the TeacherCal to my Google Classrooms. So it's something worth looking at. I think it's worth exploring just because of all the powerful features and the very visual interface of the calendar. So there you have it, TeacherCal, EduCal, and Google Classroom, and Google Calendar, and Google Drive, all working together to help make you a more efficient planner, and also making your course much more accessible to parents and administrators. Thanks for watching. Bye.